I got to talk. I got to tell what I feel. I got to talk about my life as I see it.
Biggie. Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome back. I know it's been a minute since a video. I might have to shoot another one, man. I've been like really busy. Just bought a house, so I've been really busy with that stuff. You know, I got my well, if you didn't know, I used to be a realtor way back in the day between 2006 and 2010. I did real estate pretty heavy. I did a bunch of REO properties here in Vegas. You know, Vegas was the hardest hit real estate market in the nation. So there was tons and tons and tons of foreclosures and REOs and short sales and all that stuff. And you know, I made a connection with a middleman that was feeding me, you know, foreclosure property. So I did a ton of transactions in a few short years. Before that, all came to a screeching halt. I ended up going back to school and inevitably finding my way into software development. So, but I just went back and got my real estate license because I knew I was looking for a house. You know, the lady wants a house. This is our 10th year together, and she wanted a house. So the lady got a house. But I knew if I was going to buy one, I want to get paid for it. So, you know, you got to have that hustler mentality. So I went back, I calculated out, you know, what it was going to cost to get my license back up and going. So I probably ended up spending, I don't know, about $1,500 maybe, $1,500. It wasn't $2,000, so it was between $1,500, $2,000 maybe. Get my license all back up and going. You got to pay all these fees, you know, association fee, local association, the state association, the national association. They all want money. Everybody wants money from you when you go to become a realtor, you know. But you know, I ended up cashing a check or getting a check. Actually, I'll get the check on Monday. I'm gonna start driving. I'm sitting in front of my house, about to go to Harbor Freight, pick up some little tools I need to fix this house that I'm renting right now before I move out. But anyway, I ended up netting or gonna get a check for over $10,000, so that made sense for me. There's still a net $8,000 hit just from buying my own house, you know. And I'm good at the negotiations, so I ended up getting over $1,000 refunded to me as the buyer, as well, just from different credits that I had negotiated for the seller to pay, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not bad at all. And then we did a seller lease back because the seller needed more time to find a place. She was going through a divorce, so they needed to sell the house to get it out of both of their names. And she's rebuying a house still in the same neighborhood, just different house. It will just be in her name. But she needed some extra time to be able to close on her new place. You know, she wanted to make sure that her old place was going to actually close before she, you know, moved forward with finding the new place. Obviously, she didn't want to have that contingency, et cetera, et cetera. So she did a seller lease back for up to 30 days. So we picked up, yesterday I went and picked up a security deposit check for like $2,300 and a rent check for $2,400. Now the security deposit will go back to her obviously when she moves out, as long as we walk the property and there's no type of damage or anything that we would need to use the security deposit for. The rent check is kind of all dependent on how soon she moves out. So, you know, we negotiated that amount, like $2,400, a little over $2,400 for 30 days. It's at the rate of $78 a day. So if she moves out prior to 30 days, for every day early she moves out, she gets back $78 for every day. So she ends up staying 2 weeks instead of the whole month. What's half of 24? Be like $1,200 would go back to her. I keep $1,200 for the 2 weeks she was there. So it's all about negotiation, man. Just like we talked about salary negotiation, you got to be able to negotiate. So I don't know. I picked up checks way over 15 grand, or gonna get checks way over 15 grand, even though some of that's gonna go back. Still a good day to be able to cover. That's gonna cover all of our moving costs. For the movers, I do not do the package yourself, put it in a U-Haul to save a couple dollars. We've moved probably 5 times. This will be our 6th move in 10 years or something like that. And probably the first 3, I did the U-Haul thing, trying to save $1 or borrowing somebody's truck and trying to do it and all of that. I'm too old for that now, man. My old back be done locked up. I'm hurting. So those last 2 moves, man, we use movers, and I swear I'll never move myself. You know, again, I don't have family here and all that stuff to help out, and my lady's family is all, you know, it's just her mom and her elderly, sickly granddad that's here, and her sister. So there ain't like no men from her family to help or anything like that. We could always try to lean on friends and stuff, but I hate to be that guy. Like, can you help me move? You know, because I don't like moving. So I wouldn't like if my friends called me to help them move, because I hate moving a big bed and couches and all that. That is just not enjoyable to me. Like, I'll spend that $400 or $500 on those movers any day of the week to keep from having to do that. So those checks pay for the movers. They'll pay for any supplies and stuff we need to get the house that we're renting ready to go back to the property management company. And yeah, I wasn't even counting on that. We had like over a $2,000 security deposit on this place. So if we get back even a portion of that, call it, even if we get back half of it, like, that's a pretty big deal. That's another $1,000 or something to reimburse. So all in all, a good day. You know, I, being the head of household for a family of 5, I'm the one that has to worry about the money. You know, I bring home the bacon, so it's my job to worry about the money. If you're ever like, man, he talks about money a lot, yeah, money's pretty important in my life. I've got a lot of other values as well, things that are important. But when I wake up every day, I have to worry about how I'm going to take care of my family. And you know, in this modern day and age, a lot of that comes down to money. Those type of resources, at least in this system that we live in. But anyway, outside of that, taking a little ride to Harbor Freight. So why I'm going to Harbor Freight, there's my kids broke the handle on the tub. We have a Roman tub, spa tub, whatever you call it, and they, I guess, pulled the hot water handle and it snapped. Well, there are plastic pieces inside of there where the handle goes in that connects to the valve for the hot water, and those pieces, I guess, had gotten brittle or something and snapped. So I called Moen, and Moen sent me out a replacement piece, but it comes in an extended. It's too tall, and there are lines on the outside of it where it's supposed to be cut, but I don't have a saw. I don't have a little hacksaw or something. I need a really fine little hacksaw to be able to saw through this plastic piece and not break it or split it or chip it or anything like that. So I'm going down to Harbor Freight to find me a little saw or some type of cutting device to be able to fix that. We had called out a plumber. Plumber was going to be like stupid expensive, a couple $100 to fix this thing. I called more, and the part costs with shipping like $17, $18 or something like that. And it's just screws. You know, you screw the thing apart, screw it, you know, cut it to size that you need, slip the handle over the top of it, and screw it back on. So you're literally talking about $20 that a professional plumber is going to charge you uh, some ridiculous amount for hundreds of dollars. So I said, nope, screw that. That's something I can do myself, you know. As much as I went on the preach and rant about not moving myself, I'm not going to spend a couple $100 on something that could cost me $20 to do. And all I got to do is whip out the old laptop or the phone and go to YouTube and look up how to fix it, you know. Because you can YouTube so much stuff nowadays, it just doesn't make sense to spend that kind of money. Yeah, that's kind of been it. Work's been a little crazy. It's I made a promise to my boss to get this feature done by Monday. So today's Saturday morning, 10:57 in the morning to be exact. And I'm gonna go to Harbor Freight, grab this thing, come home, set up in my home office. I'm gonna work for the rest of the weekend to get this done. I kind of got behind on some stuff at work, so I'm scrambling to play catch up, and I want to make sure by Monday that the things I promised would be done, to say the least. So other plans I got going on, remember that hustler mentality. So I'm actually thinking about picking up a second job. So I know if you watch my videos, you know how much I make already. But for a short term, say if I can do 6 months, right? Or even a year. Say for the next year I sacrifice and I pick up a second development gig, you know. At first I was looking for places that were just looking for like contract work or little work, but the problem I was finding there is that the pay for those gigs just didn't justify the amount of time it would take, you know. So, you know, the more I thought about it, the more looking I done, the more it seemed like I was gonna have to kind of pick up a second full-time gig, you know, which is what I think I'm gonna do. So I go out looking almost like I don't have a job and go get a second full-time gig, and to make it easier and not try to push the envelope, I don't need this second gig to pay me what I'm getting paid now, you know. Even if you're not 25 grand off of that, you say 100 grand, right? So combined between the two, I mean, that would be like 220 for one person bringing it into a household, right? Now I had to sit down and have the conversation with my lady. Hey, look, you got to understand that if I go do this, I'm basically not going to have a life for the next year. Hey, if it ends up being, you can end up landing that type of gig where it's like the work that they have you doing isn't really strenuous work, like it's stuff that is easy for you to do, or you get in a routine with doing stuff, you know, which is cool. Normally it would be something I would run the opposite way from, because I hate feeling like it's I don't want to say meaningless work, but it's not really pushing me to, you know, stay on top of my game or be on edge or something like that. I like places that really challenge me. The current place I have is like that, you know. It's the things that we're building and the problems that we're running into are like unique problems that keep me fresh, and you know, I always keep the pressure on. But hopefully the second place that I can end up picking up is, you know, you can kind of set it on cruise control a bit, you know. Still quality work, you know, getting stuff done in a timely manner with quality work, but not necessarily having to be stressed about anything, you know. So that would be the sweet spot for me. I'm actively looking now. If people, you know, my current job doesn't know that, and I won't let the new place know that I'm still working full-time for another place either. But I'm gonna see if I can swing it. Even if I can only swing it for 6 months, that's an extra potential 50 grand. And I would love if it's 1099 instead of W2. So I really don't want another W2. I really want to be 1099 contract. So when they say 100 grand, it's truly 100 grand. And that way, if I only can swing it 6 months, that's an extra 50 grand that can pay off my student loans. That can pay off both of our cars. That's the real reason why I'm doing this, is I want to get debt free from any debt that's not on an asset. So if it's on cars, if it's on student loans, those are really the only debt that I have. But those all added together is over 100 grand. You add both car balances and my student loans together, that's 100 grand almost on the dot, a little over actually. So I'm trying to wipe out that debt. And once that debt is wiped out, we're pretty much done. Everything else from that is going to be acquiring assets. So my end game, I don't know if I talked about this in another video, but my end game is to acquire real estate that provides me with a passive income, monthly income, that exceeds my expenses. So at that point, I will be effectively retired and truly financially free. And that's going to be my main focus. Get rid of the little debt that I have, which will lower my monthly expenses. And I think I just got a rock chip, if you heard that. And then buy and hold real estate. Hopefully, what I really want to get is multifamily real estate. So commercial style, 5 or more units. So if you don't know, from 1 unit, which is traditional single family homes, all the way up to 4 units. So you have a single family, you can have a duplex, you can have a triplex or a fourplex. Those are all still considered residential. You still get you can still get regular loans on those like you get on your house. You can get FHA, you can get VA loans. All of those special programs still qualify for a single family, a duplex, triplex, or a fourplex. Once you get to 5 units or more, you roll over, the switch flips to commercial. So you can't get those VA loans and FHA, low down payment loans and all that stuff, but you can get commercial loans. And I really want to be playing in that ball game to get sweet spot mid-level multifamily apartments between 16 and 75 units, somewhere in there, because you gain the economy of scale there. You can have one management company manage 20, 30, 40, 50 units instead of having one management company have to manage 20 separate houses in different parts of town, 20 different roofs, 20 different AC units, 20 different, everything gets multiplied out on this expense level when you're just doing single family houses. So I'm trying to get into multifamily with a bunch of units under one roof to make it easier to manage. So, and that's my retirement goal. So I'm not looking to stuff no 401k or IRA or any of that stuff to rely on as my retirement income. My retirement income is going to come all from real estate. Not all from real estate. I'm still going to have IRA and all of that stuff, but that's not going to be my main source that I plan on retiring from and waiting to 59 and a half to not get penalized and all that. I'll stuff money into that thing, sure, and that'll be just an added bonus when I get 60 or 65 or whatever it is. But I'm planning on retiring. I'm 36 now. I'm trying to do this in 5 years, which is why I'm pushing now to go ahead and get that second job, because I'm trying to fast forward or speed up this process to ensure that I can do it in 5 years, which is 60 months. The average car note, the average duration of an auto loan is 5 years or 60 months. So in the time you buy your car and pay it off, I'm looking to kick my heels up and never have to punch the clock or worry about somebody telling me you're fired, you can't feed your family anymore, and you're screwed, got to scramble and find something else. I'm 60 months away from that never being a problem or issue in my life again. And then I can pass that knowledge down to my kids and children. And then they're going to be feet kicked up way earlier than 41, you know? Maybe by the time they're 30, they'll never have to punch the clock again, or 25 even, or whatever it may be, you know? And so my whole thing is to create generational wealth for my family and to change the trajectory that my future descendants will live their lives in. So anyway, that's enough rambling for the day. I'm almost down at Harbor Freight. I'm over 20 minutes on the video, so I just wanted to put something out. I know I haven't talked to y'all in a long time. If you got any questions about anything coding related or real estate related even, or just business related in general, hit me up, holla at me. So I do the business credit thing too, you know, like I've got a couple different LLCs that I have vendor accounts for, and fuel cards and all of that stuff. So building business credit, or credit that is separate from your personal credit, that has its own, that can stand on its own 2 feet, is something that I do as well. So I know I don't talk about all those things, but I try to keep it very financially savvy over here. So the coding is just a means to an end for me financially. But if you got questions on any of those things, man, just hit me up. I'd love to chat with you. Oh, the Slack room. There's a Slack. I created a Slack room. Nobody's in it yet. I'm in it. But I haven't pushed it yet. I got to get a link up for you to be able to join and get into the Slack room. And then you can talk to me directly right there in Slack. So that will be in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe so you can get the new videos, and hit the bell so you get the notification as well. Hopefully I'm going to start going live soon, but we'll see how that works out. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.